But look around. It's a party, goddammit. Dance, my dudes. Dance. Your contemporaries are all invited. Your whole lineage RSVP'd. Welcome to the Cuckstar Bonanza.
You weren't satisfying enough with that.
You little cock!
Beta male?
I guess I'm a fucking cock. Manosphere trope. Genetic or something? MGTOW. A world that refuses to accept men.
I spend a lot of time on TikTok.
Humiliated, but I hate you. You're a very dominant person.
I'm a very dominant.
Be the most alpha of the beta male.
I show you what a real cock looks like.
Like my little bitch here.
Christianity, a couple.
People in power.
Women are upset.
Nice
Found her on the street.
male.
Yo, like
Conservative. That's
how does that make you feel?
Inadequate sexually.
The stellar penultimate, shining with the luster of tin, desperate to radiate beyond the heat of their bitter peers. Emotional regulation disorders, unresolved. Insecurities pepper their step. Verily, a walking character flaw. The Cuckstar. For the purposes of this video, a cuck will be defined as the following. A young man, divorced from the life of liberty, willingly suffered, appeasing the feminine grift and banshee woes so that their existence might finally be acknowledged, feeling gracious that he's still allowed his penis, so long as it's not his sword, and that his body is not meant to be honed, as his spirit shall remain unctuous and dull. For his mind and action must be an unwitting service to others and their perception of him. His predilections towards sex, dominance, and prestige are stamped out by his civil nature. His manhood is cucked by agents of infidelity. His masculine drives subverted by societies of control. Relegated from man to voyeur, an observer immobile, a mate incapable. The cuck cannibalizes the best of himself as he's starved of potential, forced to extol his deserved deprivation by kneeling affront what he believes to be female desire and male acceptance. He's shown he's become better for his cucking via woke obligations, social consumerism, or by obedience to the state and its propaganda. The cuck succumbs to the sad thrill of being righteously subjugated by authoritarian forces, interpersonally or ideologically. They protest as emblems, not as drivers, claiming the prize of propriety without skin in the game. They signify themselves as allies to the oppressed and the downtrodden. As battle standards in wars they'll sidestep fighting in. The essence of the pathological, annoying man is the cuck. Weak, duplicitous, and inauthentic, concerned with trivial moral quandaries outside of their purview, willing to demean themselves in fealty to a feigned and beggared virtue. Okay, all right, I'll put the fountain pen down, okay. Bluntly put, a cuck is a busybody bitch, a step to stomp on, an audience of one's own Sado show, a cheerleader, an expert, an effeminate wastrel who lambasts the better pedigree of their peers and competitors while fumbling at the chastity belt of their meaningless existence. Oh, and they'll probably let you fuck their wife too. Now, what's a cuck to a cuckstar? Is there a litmus test for this neologism? One might think the star to be the effeminate Twitterer who spends all day chastising wrongthink, condemning people as Nazis while they consume products manufactured by slave labor, complaining loudly to colleagues through the brim of their soy lattes, scheduling their fiance's dick appointment with Flaco Fabio from Englewood, a bull come highly recommended by the cuck's therapist. An exaggerated bio, better attributed to the cuck, but not the star. The cuckstar is, at the face, someone who proudly pretends the conceptual cuck, in service to, in modulation of, or in rejection by, either for simp points or gold stars, or that it's the right and honorable way to be, or because they're fearful of the consequences of being cucked. They're readily aware of the label. They live for optics, perceive comic book virtues, and antagonistic civility as the high moralisms to adopt. Authenticity expressed is a currency to them. Genuine or counterfeit, doesn't matter. There's plenty of legal tender to choose from for the cuckstar, but what's purchased is always from the profile depot. The cuckstar is hyper-aware of cucks and their machinations as the retinue bolsters their stature and lends aspects to their personality to be against the cucks. In applying these jaded sensibilities to ride the high horse of sociability, their display of this strenuous stardom is how they confront the cuck paradigm, seeing themselves either above or beneath its criterion. Regardless of their successes or their star power, they're cucked all the same. If you're not gelling with my elocution, I understand, right? It's a little too much, right? Let me proffer an addition to this caricature, an example of the real cuckstar. Welcome to the stage, Mr. Haydon Bardley, aka Call of the Wild 42, the MGTOW Meninist with no FAP tendencies.
I am a man.
You are.
Cucks and simps, hoes and thoughts. As a man, you should not be with females, with women. Join us on the journey. Get the physique you want, get the girls you want, and how to go from the victim mindset to smash that subscribe button and
Same here.
oh my god, it's so good!
The acronym of Men Going Their Own Way, an online collective loosely comprised by men who've grown tired of the traditional mating games, antagonized by the injustices perpetrated by females, and instead of submitting to the societal man-bashing, as most bachelors would, they willfully exit the gene selection pool and fuck the Jesus out of other men. That's not right, yeah. Ah, yes. Instead of being beta cucks,
Soy boy beta cucks.
simping to terrible, subprime women, they stoically choose to build muscle, gain status, and pursue glory for themselves and only themselves, leaving the femme fatales and dumpster thought hoes behind in the process. Good for them, I guess. I don't know. MGTOW is a natural response to aggravated feminism, the declining mental well-being of the average man, and the systemic issues disproportionately worsening the lives of men and their families. Inside the movement, there's an outright rejection of marriage, of putting pussy on a pedestal, of pursuing sexual relationships with women. Because women don't adhere to their end of the deal. They admonish men, betray lovers, and bastardize children with their selfish and hypergamous ways. There's a strange bravery in MGTOW. It seems to rebel against stifling norms and pathologizing women, avoiding the pitfalls of a liberalized society corrupted. And through hard work and singular focus, the MGTOW man ascends to an ideal that women and society explicitly punishes, but implicitly demands of them. They attempt this ascension unapologetically and vocally, in synchronicity with other men on the path. It's a bravery unbecoming, because the courage to ascend and become the man they idealize is adrift, unwelcome in the modern world of conformity, corporate adulting, and sensitivity. There's no room for the man's man anymore. It's uncouth, impolite to embody the patriarch. No one cares for your brutish, phallic ambitions. Your dutiful compulsion towards chivalry and family is sexist and heteronormative. You're toxic. MGTOW can be described as toxic. Sure. However, their gripes aren't unfounded, and the tragedies of men systemically abused and financially exploited are very real. Women may lie profusely, but statistics don't. The situation for the hetero man is more dire than ever. The Cuckstar lifestyle becomes less of an attraction and more of a necessity for young men to stand out from the crowd. Climbing the stairs of progress is strenuous. The youth of man lacks the wisdom to discern whether the stairs lead upwards or downwards, but the taste of a certain courage compels them to keep climbing. After all, there might be pussy at the top. Courage is dead. Politeness suffocated it. Chivalry maimed it. MGTOW buried it. There is no courage in the Cuckstar, just as there's no victory in virginity. It's sad to see that these men are so absorbed in their ostracization, martyred by the injustices levied against men writ large, banging the war drum against all women ever. But in that aggrandizing flagellation, they reify a construct of oppression, perpetrating against men and boys. By instantiating their opposition to it, rebel against it. How do they rebel? By doubling down on stereotype and caricature, dreaming themselves to be the strong silent types, chauvinist madmen, nearly rich playboys, Spartan homosexual. MGTOW, what the fuck is that? Back in my day, we just called them faggots. In this emulation, they rebel against a powerful, nebulous structure of emasculating male hatred they alone cannot surmount. So they insist men need to bandy together to become men again, recruiting other disaffected chaps to the cause. Are you picking up what I'm putting down? In other words, in conforming to the parameters of this wild goose chase into unrealistic sigma maledom, so that they can one day buck the matriarchy, own property, and fuck hundreds of bitches. And in doing all this, they lose their independence in the process. They become one with the crowd of angry, roided pickup artists, judgments clouded by shared resentments. They become cucked by meninist masochism and homoerotic idolatry. But the personal sovereign loss makes them feel powerful. Their problem space is simpler now, and the para-camaraderie gained is worth its weight in gold if they have no meaningful relationships in their life. Though the spheres of action are limited to how beast mode they can go into the gym or how much money they can earn in a labor market they're never getting out of. Those real who mainline the manosphere like Sigma Juice junkies. Come get your hungry man enemas and let's do some fucking burpees. We're all gonna make it, bros. No, not the no-fap. Please don't make me talk about the fucking no-fappers, all right? Don't.